I think it's a little bit of both, man. I think
It's system and team.
I think it's a little bit of both, man, because they got a great offensive line, which helps Hurts. Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They got a good running game.
I mean, Miles Sanders.
They scheme that they have.
O-line. I mean, bro, like.
And this Eagles Cowboy coming up, ain't it?
Yeah, it's coming up. I'm not trying to make no enemies. I just love the game so much, and I understand it so much that I can't. I when things are off, I just can't hold it in. I almost gotta say something.
Yeah, you're right. They got a great team, great defense.
But everyone has their own opinions.
But they got Jalen Hurts is.
He's good. He's good.
They got him for the MVP race with Patrick Mahomes.
I hope y'all can hear that. You see, we gotta understand, man. And I'm glad somebody pointed this out in one of the comment section. If Michael Parsons was on the Chicago Bears, would he be the same impact player? I don't think he would be. This is the guy that begged Dan Quinn to stay because he realized he's not all that. Right? If you need a defense coordinator to help you, you must not be all that. Does Micah Parsons really benefit the Dallas Cowboys, or does the Dallas Cowboys really benefit Micah Parsons? You got to answer that question too, because it feels like at 12-1, Jalen Hurts is the most disrespected quarterback I've ever seen this league. I've never seen a 12-1 guy put up big numbers and still get disrespected. I mean, they didn't ever say anything about Patrick Mahomes, the way he's able to go at with Tyreek Hill. The man had Hardman. The man had so many weapons. Josh Allen had weapons. Hell, Baker Mayfield had weapons. And yet, Jalen Hurts not allowed to have weapons? Make that make sense. Tom Brady's allowed to have all the weapons in the world. And not one of them call him a fraud. Doesn't make sense. Give the man credit when it's due, man, and stop being, ignorant. Especially with a guy who has 3 sacks. three pressures against the Philadelphia Eagles team that literally shut him down. Let's call it spade a spade. Michael Parsons literally got shut down by Lane Johnson. You had nothing to say when Lane Johnson shut your ass down. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. The more and more I think about it, I think Michael Parsons is the most overrated player in the league. I think all the hype's there, not the production. What did he do versus Houston when they were barely winning that game? Why don't you say that about your quarterback? That is throwing more picks than any other quarterback right now. Jared Goff is playing better than Dak. And yeah, Michael Parsons don't want to say anything about that. But he'll go after my quarterback because he knows his quarterback is not better than ours. Michael Parsons is a fraud, and he knows it. I don't think he's the guy without Dan Quinn, and I don't care what anybody says. Dan Quinn, to me, is making Michael Parsons the player that he is. Without Dan Quinn, I don't think Michael Parsons is the second. If Michael Parsons goes somewhere like the Jets, without the old coaching, without Sauce Gardner, without all just the same old trash Jets, does he become that same Michael Parsons? Since you want to talk about scheme, let's talk about Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons went to a great scheme that was ran by Dan Quinn, who is a Legion of Boom head defense coordinator. And you want to talk about scheme? Dude, come on, man. To me, it sounds like you're scared. The interview, to me, it sounds like they're really scared. You discrediting the quarterback that pretty much, let's be real, We seen without Jalen Hurts what this guy is. I mean, look at Mark Mitchell. Stinks. Does Jalen Hurts be without a different quarterback? Does Jalen Hurts do we become 12-1? No, I don't think so. So for Michael Parsons to say that, we can argue that Michael Parsons is irreplaceable too. Because if Michael Parsons is not a Dallas Cowboy, I don't think he has the same success. I don't think he makes a real impact. I know he don't. Why do you think he begged for Dan Quinn to stay as a defense coordinator? He fits the Dallas Cowboys. He's a good player for them. But if he was on another team, would he have the same success? I don't think he would. This is a guy that pretty much, to me, I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't think he's all that. Yeah, he's all the hype all he wants, but let me ask you a question. When you need him to depend on games, does he show up like my quarterback does? No, he don't. He's all the hype you want. He's physical, he's this, that, but does he show up? Does he take over games when you need him to do? Like week 6 when you needed him to take over games. Did he show up then? 3 pressures and you talking crap about a player that's league MVP? Not a good choice. But again, I mean, we're going to find out. I mean, the Eagles are going to take care of business regardless against the Bears. But you should be taking care of the business against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Because I ain't going to lie to you, Jacksonville Jaguars are a tough team. I mean, the fact that this guy said Jalen Hurts' scheme is the reason why he wins. Come on, man. We can argue the same reason for you. Is Patrick Mahomes' scheme the reason why he's winning? Doesn't Josh Allen's scheme make him better too? Does Tom Brady's scheme make him legit too? All these quarterbacks that they praise, don't you think the scheme is the reason why they're winning too? How about Ezekiel Elliott, his scheme? Do you think Dak Prescott's scheme the reason why he's succeeding too? Let's talk about your quarterback, Michael Parsons. Your quarterback is literally trash this year. Absolutely horrible. Jared Goff is having a better career than him right now. In 2022, Dak is literally terrible. Trash. Dumpster juice. The man has thrown more picks. I mean, come on. The man's not playing like a top 10 quarterback. And you don't say one thing about him, but you'll go after my quarterback who's playing like an MVP caliber quarterback that's playing like a top 5 quarterback. Your quarterback's in his 7th year. Can't even get barely past the divisional round. And still throwing bad interceptions in double coverage. Playing like a rookie. And you want to talk about my quarterback? Come on, man. The scheme is the reason why you're succeeding. I mean, I think it is. If Michael Parsons goes somewhere like the Jets, does he succeed the exact same way as he does in the Cowboys? No. Because this scheme is the reason why he's succeeding. He's in a perfect scheme. There's nothing wrong with that. Look at all the great players that are in the Hall of Fame. Emmitt Smith. I think his scheme is the reason why he was successful. So what? The scheme makes him better. If he's still a good quarterback, he's still got to be able to throw the ball, which he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Look at the quarterbacks right now. Don't you think their scheme is helping them? If Patrick Mahomes was in another scheme, does he become Patrick Mahomes? I don't know. So what? The scheme is working for him. Why do you care so much? See, that's what I know this game in Christmas Eve is going to matter so much. See, the Eagles are not focused on the Cowboys. We focus on the Chicago Bears. The Cowboys are really focused on the Eagles. And I think the Jacksonville Jaguars, if you're Jacksonville, you might can get a win can easily get a win this Sunday. Because I don't think they're focused on their opponent they should be focused on. And I would not be surprised if Jacksonville steals a win against them because they take that team lightly and they really want to play that opponent that they see in 2 weeks. And that's the Philadelphia. It hurts them so much that Jalen Hurts exposed them. They had no game plan for A.J. Brown. They had no game plan for Devontae Smith. They had no game plan for Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders having a 1,000-yard career rushing. They had no game plan. But here we go with Micah Parsons, who should learn from DeMarcus Lawrence not to open your mouth when you're playing an opponent rival in 2 weeks. You, sir, were struggling versus the Texans, and you come in here and talk about an Eagles team that just blew out an opponent that you struggled both times versus week 3 and Thanksgiving. You couldn't even blow out the Giants, and the Eagles went in the MetLife and they destroyed them. And you struggled in your home on Thanksgiving. You barely could score even 30. Come on, man. Give me a break. And Dak is still throwing bad interceptions, still throwing double coverage, still throwing triple coverage. He's still making bad plays. Can't throw a deep ball for real. He's not really good. He's not a good quarterback. I think Dak is trash. He's always been trash. But people want to overhype him. Don't you think his scheme is the reason why he's winning too? I think it is. Because I don't think Dak goes to another organization and wins the exact same way he's winning in Dallas. And you can argue that Tony Romo might be a better quarterback than Dak. Because honestly, with the talent that Tony Romo would have had in Dallas, I think they go to the AFC Championship. Dak is not even close to Tony Romo's level. And I think Dak, to me, is sorry. But if I'm playing an opponent rival, I'm not going to say I'm going to give him credit when it's due. That's the problem with losers and winners. Losers focus on the wrong reasons. See, the Cowboys won't win nothing because they got players who talk too much. Shut your mouth if you only have 3 good plays against the Eagles and you got shut down by the best right tackle in football. What you talking about a rival for? Go focus on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Take your anger on them. You'll get your chance like everybody else does on Christmas Eve. And we'll find out who the better team is. But you running your mouth when you weren't even an impact player. You look silly talking about a quarterback that made you look bad on week 6. You look silly when you couldn't even get a pressure until Lane Johnson went out with a concussion. You look silly. You look stupid. You look unprofessional. You look like you're jealous and you look sad. Take your anger out on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Go beat the Jags. Show you're that team. Go blow up the Jacksonville Jaguars, who just beat the shit out of Tennessee. Part of my language. But it's just mind-boggling that Cowboy players are talking about the Eagles. But yeah, Cowboy fans will we talk about them? Come on, man. Now I think it's the other way around. Cowboy fans can't even talk about Philadelphia Eagles without talking about how, oh, yeah, Cooper Rush week 6. Isn't that the same quarterback that was 4-0? And I ain't going to lie to you. I don't think Dak makes a difference. A guy that's still throwing in bad interceptions after game. When you going to hold your quarterback to accountability? We hold ours to accountability. Yeah, I'm so excited for Christmas Eve. You definitely right. I can't wait for the Cowboys game. I'm tired of their players talking crap. I can't wait till we blow that team out one more time and give them the old ass whooping they wanted. Trash ass, overrated, overhyped player, man. Michael Parsons is overrated. I don't care what anybody says. Michael Parsons is the most overrated player I've ever seen in my life. The man has all the hype in the world, but doesn't produce when he needs to. How many sacks did he have against Lane Johnson? 0. Until Lane Johnson went out. Trash. Terrible. I don't think he has the same success if he wasn't a Cowboy. You can argue Dan Quinn is making him elite. I don't think it's the other way around. Where Jalen Hurts can go somewhere else, and I think he would have the same success. I don't know about Michael Parsons. So for him to talk about scheme, come on, man. That's to me, that sounds like you're really jealous. You're jealous because the spotlight's not on you, and the spotlight's on the Eagles. That's what it is. The Cowboys are used to the spotlight. See, they're used to all the papers talking about them. They're used to the media talking about them, and they're not talking about them. They talk about the Philadelphia Eagles who are 12-1, and they don't like that one bit. Michael Parsons upset that Jalen Hurts is getting all the hype. What Michael Parsons needs to do is worry about why Jalen Hurts disposed him week 6, and he didn't have 1 sack against Lane Johnson. Why do you show it week 6 if you're the best player? Go take it out on Jacksonville. Go show you that team. Go blow up the Jacksonville Jaguars. Actually tell your quarterback to stop throwing interceptions and actually show that you're dominant team. Show us that you're that scary team. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, you look sweet right now. After the way you played against Houston, you think we're supposed to be scared of you when we just blew out our opponent versus the Giants, who you struggled on Thanksgiving against. Your quarterback was still throwing picks against. Then our quarterback didn't throw one. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Shut your mouth and just let your game plan, man. I don't know. I don't care any athlete, even my team. I don't want my players to talk. Show your game. You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to show them the field, then shut your mouth. You and DeMarcus Lawrence are the exact same player, in my opinion, your most overrated player in the league. Because let's be real, is Michael Parsons really that good without Dan Quinn? No, I don't think so. I don't care what any Cowboy fan says. Parsons is not scared of Hurts. He should be because he actually exposed him. Parsons is, to me, overrated. I don't think it's his game plan that he has. When he should have the same game plan that he supposedly talks when he played week 6 and he got exposed, man. They took him out the game. Come on, man. Micah Parsons is overrated, bro. I really don't think he's all that. All the hype, all the world, man. His rookie year was his best season. Since then, he's not capitalized off his rookie year. He took a step back. I don't think he's the exact same player if he goes to the Jets. I'm glad we don't have Micah Parsons. I'm glad we took Devontae over him. Because who's benefiting the most? Him or Devontae? I think Devontae is. Micah Parsons is a one occasional linebacker that yaps his mouth. He's going to be another Cowboy that's going to run his. He's another DeMarcus Lawrence. All talk without play. And he should learn from DeMarcus Lawrence because look what happened when DeMarcus Lawrence opened his mouth. Oh, we don't know what Hurts is. He got to play. We still them boys, right? We dropped 28 points on y'all. Sorry asses. Well, show us you're that team, bum. Go show us that. Talk and run your mouth. I don't like when players do that, especially when Jalen Hurts has proved he's a winner. So that's the difference between winners and losers. Losers talk, and they don't let the game plan back up the talking. Where winners go out there and they shut their mouth and just let the game plan, they let the game do the talking. Michael Parsons is going to cost his Cowboys team a couple wins in his career. Because all he does is this. He's no different than any other Cowboy on the player or any player that runs his mouth. Except one thing, some players run their mouth, but they back up their game plan. Back up their talk. Micah doesn't. He should be absolutely silent the way he played in week 6 when he got absolutely taken out the game. If you make Michael Parsons react instead of just, when you make him just think, he's not the same. He's better off reacting and going. I call him the bait. I call him the bait. He's like the cheese in the mousetrap. He's the bait. No, he's the rat that goes after the bait and get his whole body clipped by the mousetrap. See, Jalen Hurts is that little bait, and Micah Parsons is falling for it. Von Miller sent out the bait, and you fell for it, man. Rather than say, you know what, Jalen Hurts playing high level, man. We got to do our part. Or just, I'm not going to answer that question. When you focus on Jacksonville Jaguars. Instead, you want to run your mouth? Come on, man. It's all bum talk. Bro, what are you talking about? Oh, you didn't hear it? Let me play it for you. Introducing Micah Parsons, ladies and gentlemen.
Hurts or the team?
I think it's a little bit of both, man. I think
it's system and team.
I think it's a little bit of both, man, because they got a great offensive line, which helps Hurts. Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They got a good running game.
Miles Sanders.
They scheme that they have.
O-line. I mean, bro, like it, like.
Hey, this Eagle Cowboy coming up, ain't it?
Yeah, it's coming up. I'm not trying to make no enemies. I just like I.
I can't wait for Christmas Eve. That's what I'm talking about for free information. Wow, imagine the game now. Imagine us blowing you asses out again. I can't wait for man. I can't wait. So that's what I'm talking about if you want to know. Also, you still own us. Shit. I don't care about the Commander fan, man. She needs to worry about the Giants not blowing her asses out too. But no, I mean, listen, Christmas Eve is going to be special. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait for that game because, like I said, when you are an opponent, you let your game plan do the talking. I've never seen a quarterback so disrespected. Say what you want about Cowboy fans, man. I don't care what they say. Jalen Hurts to me is the most disrespected quarterback. The man is 12-1. He's putting up MVP numbers. He's putting up Mahomes, Josh Allen numbers. And yet they don't want to crown him, but they'll crown a guy like Lamar Jackson, who hasn't done shit since his MVP year. They want to crown a guy like Kyler Murray, who's absolute garbage and who can't even lead a team to a victory. They want to crown Baker Mayfield, who just came back off being cut and gets one win, and here they are right at his nuts again. They'll crown those guys. They'll crown Patrick Mahomes, who threw 3 interceptions against a trash Denver Broncos team. They want to crown Josh Allen, who keeps on, making boneheaded mistakes and throwing in bad situations. They want to crown those guys. But they won't crown the guy who's leading his team to victory. They won't crown the guy that's putting his team in good position, field position. Now, one game has Jalen Hurts thrown a bad interception or has cost his team a W. You can't name me one. He's been pretty much perfect. Yet these guys get so much high praise because their name is Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Not the fact that their game plan doesn't match to how they performed. You know what I'm saying? They're out here throwing bonehead picks when nobody's even open. But let Jalen Hurts have those bad games and let's see how they react. I know how they react. The same way they react last year. Oh, he's a bum. We need to go out and get this. But let these other quarterbacks do the exact same thing. Nobody says anything about them. It's crazy. And I don't think the disrespect's going to stop until we win a championship. And that's fine. I like being underdogs. We won a lot of Super Bowl because of underdogs mentality. No one likes us. We don't care. You got Dan Sileo talk about if Jalen Hurts the next 10 years he's going to be another Cameron. Come on, man. The clown shit. See, I think Dan needs a partner. You know what I'm saying? That can correct his BS. Because some shit he says is just ridiculous. Jalen Hurts, to me, is the most complete quarterback I've ever seen in his second year. No one gave him a chance. No one believed in him. Everybody doubted him. Everybody said he couldn't be this. Everybody said he couldn't be that. And he's going out there and showing it and putting it on the line. No one gave this kid a chance. Everybody said he was trash. Everybody said he had a noodle arm. Everybody said he couldn't do this. Well, now look at what he's doing now. Now it's just his weapons. So what about Josh Allen's weapons? What about Patrick Mahomes' weapons that he had when he was winning championships? Won championship. I mean, he won championship because of the weapons. Or do you think Tyreek Hill speed didn't do anything? Now we want to make excuses for Patrick Mahomes? Stop it. I have ESPN on them talking about how Patrick Mahomes should win MVP because look at the weapons he don't have. I'm sorry. He's supposed to be an MVP quarterback. He's supposed to make anything better. And yet he's not the reason why they're winning games. He's the reason why they're losing most of them. He cost his team 4 games. I can't understand the logic how you can sit there and say Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen or the fact Tua was trash versus the Chargers. Terrible. Yeah, he's more Pro Bowl votes? See, Pro Bowl votes are popularity contests. I don't care about the Pro Bowl. I want to know a ring. Put a ring on a finger. I want a number 2. The Philadelphia Eagles are so disrespected because they're great and teams hate it, including Michael Parsons. Because Michael Parsons has to face this every year, knowing that team is only going to get better. And I love it. Waiting to Christmas Eve, I'm telling you right now, we're going to expose y'all. We're going to expose the Cowboys. I'm telling you right now, man. It might not even be a close one. The way they went out there and they blew the Giants out by dominating, running the football, passing the football, and keeping that offense of the Giants mediocre. Well, they've been mediocre, but let me tell you something. This Giants team is well coached. This Giants team don't get blown out that much, just like the Tennessee Titans team. When is the disrespect going to stop? I don't know if it would be. I guess we're going to have to go and win another Super Bowl and show you that we're that team. And I'm all for the road. If we get home for the advantage, that's where we're going. Wow, the rise between Eagles versus Cowboys game is crazy. Okay. Joe says he wants to skip the Bears game on focus on that. Yeah, because y'all run your mouth too much. The Texans are trash and you barely beat them. Well, let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and Texans game because people get that notion messed up. In the first half, we struggled. What happened in the second and third? You tell me what happened in the second and third. If you really were watching that game and you weren't just looking at the highlights. I can tell you what happened. It was a body. We dominated that team. That running game was pretty much not going anywhere. They didn't really score in the second and third and fourth quarter. They only scored in the first. You guys were struggling into the whole quarter. When we played Indianapolis, we didn't leave it go almost to overtime. And Jalen Hurts wasn't the reason why we were losing that game. And let's be real, the Colts that game were coming off a W. We were coming off a loss. Our team was finding their ways. You, on the other hand, were struggling against the Texas team. You struggled versus the Bears. You struggled against teams that you should be blowing out. The Giants team that we just destroyed, you guys couldn't even score more than 30 points on. And Dak was throwing 2 to 3 picks against. You should have dropped 50 on them. Now I give it my favorite game the game that I give you credit for is the Vikings game. You scored 40. You did what you had to do. But I'm gonna tell you something. And I keep on telling these people, they don't listen. If you don't think we're going to do the exact same thing we did with the Giants and you keep playing like that, like you versus the Texans, we're going to smack y'all. So your hope is you better go into the Jacksonville Jaguars game and show that you're that team. Because either that or it's going to be a long Christmas for you. Christmas Eve. Get your mittens ready. Get your cookies ready. Get everything ready. Because let me tell you something. It's going to be a long Christmas for you. If the Philadelphia Eagles go into Dallas with a W and you go out there with an L against the Jacksonville Jaguars, that's it. Your team's not going to be prepared for the Eagles. I mean, isn't it worry you that Micah Parsons is already looking forward to the Eagles game? They asked A.J. Brown, what do you think of the Dallas Cowboys game? You know, he said, I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the Bears game. That's a winner. Losers worry about the wrong reason. They need to worry about the Jacksonville Jaguars not coming to Dallas and getting the because you almost lost to the Houston Texans. And the way the Jacksonville Jaguars just played, listen, don't sleep on that team. Trevor Lawrence is playing good football right now. They're hot right now. They just beat a Tennessee Titans team in their home building. And they absolutely mopped the floor with them. They're a good team. They got an okay, good defense. They're well coached by a Super Bowl champion, former Super Bowl champion head coach for the Eagles. You should know who he is, Doug Peterson. They got some good weapons. Zay Jones is nothing to sneeze at. Evan Ingram is playing really good for a tight end they have over there. They got some good corners. Don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on them. I'm telling you, don't sleep on them. They can definitely go into Dallas and get that W. They have that team to do it. Now, do I think they will? No, I probably don't think they will. Because I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to play the exact same way. They're going to be mediocre, and they're going to come and drop 40 on them by the second and third and fourth quarter. Like they always do. The Dallas Cowboys are all about showboat. Well, we're all about winning. I can't wait for Christmas Eve. I can't wait to embarrass y'all one more time. My lips are literally dry. And I'm trying not to lick my lips because I cannot wait to taste the blood off the spear of the knife. The blade of the knife of Cowboys blood on this fucking blade of the knife. That's how important I want Dallas. I want to cut their freaking throats, lick the blood off this fucking blade of the knife, and it'll taste like victory. What would happen? Well, what would happen if the Dallas Cowboys lose? We could do what ifs. See, I don't do what ifs. I do what we did to y'all last time we played y'all week 6. What has changed between the Dallas Cowboys week 6 and what they've done now? See, y'all talk about what ifs. I don't do what ifs. I do what we see right now. Now I'm gonna tell you right now, don't be surprised if we drop 40 on y'all. What ifs. I don't do what ifs. What if the Cowboys lose and they look embarrassed one more time? What are you gonna do then? Since you want to do what ifs. Come on, man. I don't do what ifs. That's the problem with y'all. Y'all do what ifs instead of what y'all need to do to stop the what ifs. Hurts is 0-3 against Dak. Not this year, he ain't. And he won't be by Christmas Eve. He'll be 1-3 against Dak. And Dak has only versed Hurts one time in the whole career because Hurts never been a quarterback that long. So that's what's the problem with you Cowboy fans, man. You think it's this same team from last year. And we showed you week 6 we weren't that same team from last year. You still think we're the exact same team from last year, and you're about to get a rude awakening. Keep thinking it's the same team from last year. And we'll come and bust your asses. That's when you're going to know we're not the same team from last year. That's the problem with y'all. You think it's always the past and not the future. You're not the same team from last year either. You don't got Amari Cooper to help you. Your receiver's not better than ours. You got to force feed CeeDee Lamb while we don't have to force feed A.J. Brown. And he's still putting up 1,000-yard receiving. We spread the ball, unlike y'all who have to force feed the number 1 receiver because you don't have the other receiver to help. And T.Y. Hilton is not all that, so to stop with that. T.Y. Hilton's washed. He came to Dallas to be in a retirement home. Normally, your boy Jason Whitney, who you brought back. I mean, come on. The Cowboys better watch out. The Jaguars ain't going to be all it is. No, it's not. But I guess what? I expect them to lose that game. Because here again, Micah Parsons is not worried about the Jaguars game. When he should be worried about the Jaguars game. He's worried about the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's where the rude awakening is coming. So I always say this. Losing mentality is when you focus on the wrong reasons. Winning mentality. You know why the Eagles are 12-1 and not the Dallas Cowboys? Because the Eagles focus on their priorities. They don't eat what's on the dinner table unless they finish the food first. They don't ask for seconds. They don't ask for thirds. They go in there with a mindset. Hey, let's take one game at a time. And let's show that we're that team. They don't need all these fancy touchdowns. They don't need all these fancy stats. Not touchdowns, fancy stats. They don't need to put the starters in and blow a Colts team by 50 to 60 points. Eagles take the starters out because they're really about winning. Cowboys are about showbuilding. That's why the Eagles will win another Super Bowl before the Dallas Cowboys do. And that's why the Eagles will get home field advantage before the Dallas Cowboys do. And that's when the Eagles beat y'all on Christmas Eve and show you with the mirror to your face that you're not really this team that you are. You'll learn real quick that you're not that team that you are. We shut him down. He didn't even get it. Exactly, man. And Houston should have really won that game. I keep on saying this. If the Dallas Cowboys were this elite team that they are, how come they're losing games that they shouldn't be? For instance, the Packers game. Y'all blew a 14-point lead against Aaron Rodgers when he was dead in the water. We went out there, not only we beat him, we ran the football on him. We ripped them apart. They had to take Aaron Rodgers out the game because we hurt him. Now, our defense didn't play good in that game, but the offense was clicking. Both your offense and defense were struggling. Y'all went to about the Colts game. Okay, we were struggling in this Colts game. But y'all were too. Because the Colts really were almost, Diggs was getting cooked left and right in that game versus Colts. I'm watching the Colts game and Matt Ryan, let's be real, Matt Ryan stinks. There were so many times where the receivers were wide open, he just didn't see it. The Colts really should have won that game in Dallas. But the bad calls, the fact that one of them was a face mask, they didn't bother calling that, but we ain't gonna tell them. We know you all have the refs on your side. I'm sure they're going to have the refs on their side when they verse the Eagles and try to steal one from us. It won't help anyway. Yet the coaching kind of helped them out of the goal line, and our defense is actually good. If our offense actually scored, exactly. I think I think Houston's on the way to be a good team. They gave the Cowboys a fight for their life. And if you're Micah Parsons, why are you worried about the Philadelphia Eagles? You should be worried about the Jacksonville Jaguars team. And that's you perfecting your game. That's how I know that they're not going to win Christmas Eve. Because it really hurts them that we beat them week 6. They're still focused on that game instead of moving past and moving forward. All right, the game we didn't win. Let's move forward. Let's have a strong finish. And then when we play you, we play you. Said you worried about the wrong reasons. You worried about the wrong opponent. You should be worried about Jacksonville, not the Philadelphia Eagles. If Von Miller asked me that question, if I was Michael Parsons, I would say I'm not really concerned about Philadelphia. They're a great team. They got a good quarterback. But we're trying to get that win against Jacksonville. That's all. Instead, he want to talk about the scheme. You're with Dan Quinn, aren't you? Isn't the scheme is helping you? What's wrong with the scheme? Tom Brady has a scheme. He wants Super Bowls with schemes. Everybody has a scheme. No one is going to have no scheme and be a legit. That's just not how it works. The great quarterbacks in the league, Dan Marino had a scheme. A scheme does not display how bad you are. You still got to put in the work. You still got to be the guy that you can lead a team. Scheme does not make you bad. So to me, that was ridiculous for him to say that, because isn't he in a scheme that fits him? So what you're saying is that scheme really is helping you more than you helping Dallas. Because we could argue if Michael Parsons was in another different scheme, would he be the same scheme? Would he be the same player? I don't know if he would be. You in a scheme does not make you a bad player. The best quarterbacks have the great scheme that worked well for him. Look at Patrick Mahomes' scheme. It fits him. If he went to another scheme, would he be the same quarterback? I don't know if he would be. Your scheme does not benefit you from showing that you're the guy. You still got to put in the work. You still got to go out there. You got to grind every day. You got to put the work in. You got to put the sweat and tears in. You still got to show you're the dude. You still got to be able to throw the ball from the pocket, whether you have a scheme that fits you or not. The RPO does not benefit you from from you not showing you're the guy. You still got to put the work in. You still got to go out there every Sunday and show you're that guy every day. And Jalen Hurts has done that. And you want to talk about scheme. Micah Parsons, the last one to talk about scheme. He has a Dan Quinn, who's a defense coordinator, who was literally the Legion of Boom, I believe, defense coordinator. And you should be happy you're in a defense coordinator, a defensive scheme. You could be worse. It could be Jonathan Gannon's scheme. It could be worse. It could be a bad scheme that you were with another team that didn't know how to use you right. Like Raquan Smith from the Bears, who went to a Baltimore Ravens scheme. Look how much better he is. See, people need to stop saying it's a scheme. It doesn't. Maybe sometimes the player just fit the scheme, and that's providing so much energy to the team. Didn't Drew Brees have a scheme? Hell, Tom Brady's in the one scheme only, and that is he needs an offensive line to help him succeed. Without that offensive line, does Tom Brady become Tom Brady? No, he don't. Come on, man. It's crazy. Eagles do have better coaches. They do. But y'all got the better defense coordinator. I like Dan Quinn over Jonathan Gannon. I think our defense is really, really the reason why Jonathan Gannon succeeded. But I take Dan Quinn over him. You damn right I would. Micah Parsons talks spicy, and that's the problem. He shouldn't be talking spicy. See, talking spicy is good when you actually provide and you actually show it. Did Micah Parsons even have a sack versus the Houston Texans? Well, did he even show that he was his lead sack from last year? No. He hasn't. And that's the problem. You could talk spicy shit, but you got to show it. You got to go out there and you got to show it. Every given Sunday, you got to be the reason why your team is winning, not the reason why you're losing. Micah Parsons is a good player, but let's not act like he's an elite player. And let's not act like he's the reason why Dallas is winning. Dallas defense is, other than Micah Parsons, is talented. But if you can make Micah Parsons think instead of just react, he's a ticking time bomb. He doesn't have the thought process to just read a defense. He's a bait ready to be caught. I even give you one better. He's like that little lamb that's sent to the slaughterhouse. You sent the trap, he's going to fall for it. The Philadelphia Eagles had a game plan. Now I'm surprised players or teams haven't looked at how to stop him. You find ways to take him out the game. You win this game. The way to beat the Cowboys is simple. Game plan for Zeke. Make Dak throw it in the pocket because you know we're going to create turnovers. And take away Micah Parsons. That's it. You make your RPOs really hurts him because he has to not only think, he got to react also. And that's how you beat him. Where a lot of linebackers can actually read a defense and actually understand what was going on. Micah Parsons needs just to be strictly a pass rusher, in my opinion. Because I don't think he has the linebacker scheme to just react to a defense and attack. He got to be quick, react, and go. He should just be strictly a pass rusher. I don't care what anybody says. Mike is like a lion. He can't even tame his mouth. No, he can't. And you know what? A lion eventually gets put to sleep. A lion gets put to sleep. So yeah, he can be a lion, but eventually that lion gets put to sleep for good. So yeah, I hope that lion has a good night's sleep because the zookeeper's Jalen Hurts is going to tame that lion for sure. No, that's Lane Johnson. He's a zookeeper. He gonna keep that lion in check in a cage where he belongs, like an animal. And he is. I mean, come on. He put that lion in the check. He put that lion in the cage where he belongs. We're gonna do it again. I'm not scared of that Cowboys team. I'm really not. I don't think they're all that. I think they're the most overrated, overhyped team I've ever seen. They got all the talent in the world, yet they can't even beat certain teams that they should be. If you want to be 12-1, shut your mouth and let your game plan talk. And that's the problem. They don't shut their mouth. They run their mouth. They think they're all that. They think no one can beat them. And when someone beats them, like the Eagles, the way they beat them that bad, because all offseason I heard was that defense was beast elite. When we came into the Eagles versus games week 6, all we heard was the Micah Parsons show. It was the 85 Bears coming to stop the foot off the Eagles offense. Jalen Hurts can't throw from the pocket, and Jalen Hurts absolutely ripped them apart to the point where Diggs was throwing a tantrum on the goal line because Devontae Smith called a touchdown against him. We had a game plan for the line. We tamed the line. We put him in his cage where he belongs, where he rightfully belongs. And we're going to do it again on Christmas Eve. We're going to make sure Michael Parsons is out the game. You take Michael Parsons out the game, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And if you don't think the Eagles are going to do it again, you're crazy. I know the Eagles will do it again. Now the question is, Michael Parsons going to learn from his lesson and not fall for the same tricks over and over again? Because sometimes when a line gets out of bounds, it's time to put the line to sleep. Nighty night. The zookeeper puts you in check, not the line. And Jalen Hurts like the zookeeper. He's going to tame that line, and he's going to put him in his rightful cage where he belongs on Christmas Eve, for sure. So he keep talking about how Jalen Hurts is the system scheme, whatever he wants to say. But the bottom line is Michael Parsons in his scheme that benefits him. Patrick Mahomes in his scheme that benefits him. If they don't have the scheme, no one succeeds. Look at all the greats. Emmitt Smith was in a perfect scheme, a good offensive line that really benefited him for winning 4 Super Bowls. Even Troy Aikman had a good scheme. If you put him in a different scheme, do you think they have the same success? No. Look at Herschel Walker when he went to the Vikings. The scheme didn't fit him, and he didn't succeed. The scheme does not benefit you from taking away your game. You still got to play good. The scheme helps you, and it benefits off you, but you still got to put in the work. You still got to be the guy that you can rely on. Look at Lamar Jackson. Yeah, the scheme helps him, but does it really help the Ravens? Are they winning? No. Even Kyler Murray's scheme. Look his scheme. Is he really winning with that team, even though he's a good scheme around him? No, because he stinks. He's a terrible quarterback. And for people to say that Jalen Hurts' scheme is the real reason why he's winning, come on, man. We ain't gonna run around here like he's Kyler Murray. That's costing his team wins. Go say something about Kyler Murray. But don't talk about Jalen Hurts like it's just a scheme. When Micah Parsons plays in a scheme that benefits him. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, if he was in another different scheme with a different defense coordinator in another place where he would be on another team, I don't think he has the same impact. I know he don't. Micah Parsons fits the Dallas Cowboys perfectly. The same way Jalen Hurts fits the Eagles perfectly. Does not define you how you play. It doesn't. You still got to put the work in. You still got to go out there every given Sunday and show that you're that dominant team. You're still that dominant cat. You're still the team that you teams have to fear for. So that's just my thought. And I don't care who disagrees. Michael Parsons should be happy he's in Dallas and not somewhere like in Jacksonville. And not somewhere like I don't know, what's another bad team? The Bears, the Raiders, the Colts. He's lucky he's not in none of those places. He's in Dallas where he's going to have every talent to help him out. He's a good defense coordinator that knows what he's doing, that puts him in good positions to succeed in. So stop with that. You know what I'm saying? Go show it on Sundays. So that's what I'm pretty much want to talk about. I think Jalen should disrespect the quarterback. You know what? I love it, man. The way we destroyed the Giants, you better fear us. We got home field advantage everywhere you want. This Eagles team's going to get the number 1 seed. And I think it's going to run through Philly. And I'm going to say this right now. If it runs through Philadelphia, not only are we going to Super Bowl, we're going to win it. This team is too good. It's too good, man. You know what I'm saying?